I think that's Bart on the phone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good afternoon. Happy to. Happy. Okay.
Yes, we are. Folks, while we have you captive, so that she can make sure she's got everybody. We don't want to miss you out though. So
I appreciate that.
Okay, Jim.
no.
Us.
JD just joined.
By phone, just to,
Do you know?
I'll call Jim. I'll call.
Hold on. I don't know what that's about. Yeah. Somebody just joined us with the initial.
Oh,
Yeah, could join us for.
Okay, where do I turn it on? Yeah, we still.
The green.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Pardon? I'm sorry. That we typically don't have is that we have the contract with Connect.
Tanya's phone.
From the census.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Anna, are you on the
We could try.
Computer to where
Yeah, I'm
You
at
can-
settings now.
Okay. I could not get anybody with Unit 5, so Mary, I would suggest, although we are one short, but we are expecting one more member to join us to make the quorum. But we need a quorum to vote on the items that need to be voted, so we can have those those items, be at the later part of the agenda. If you would like, we can move ahead for the updates and to save
Okay,
time, if that's okay with you.
okay, let's go ahead and start, and I have 4:15 PM. And so I believe Melissa is doing the call to order. So if everyone could raise their hand if they are here. And Diana is here, but we don't have her video, her camera on. And
Yeah.
Carl,
And Carl Olsen too.
Yeah.
what?
And Carl
Carlson.
Olsen. Carl Olsen on the phone too.
And we have Mary.
So I'll just run through it really quick. I have
Okay.
Bart Bittner, Diana Hellman, Mary Cramp, Carl Olson, and Carl Teichman. And Mark Wiley a little later, probably.
Did you say Bart Bittner?
Yes, Bart Bittner I have, yeah.
Good, all right. So we have the attendance, and I don't believe there's any public comment. So we are going to move ahead to number 6 until we get a quorum. So items of information, let's start with Vision Zero. Ray, would you like to cover that?
Yes. Yeah, Vision Zero, as you all know, it is that transportation safety project that we just got. Sorry, just Mark guys just joined us too. Just FYI.
Okay.
The project actually had a kickoff on June the 24th, as you were aware, because I did send a notice out, and that kickoff meeting was well attended by the stakeholders. There are three stakeholder groups, and so we had a pretty good turnout, and the consultants were giving an orientation and also talk about the project. So the next step with that will be with the 3 different subgroups. One is the steering committee, the project steering committee, and then the second one is the expert panel, the subject matter expert panel, and then the third group is what we call the community user tester group, which basically would be toward more that the input will be taken to later in the planning process to test the outcomes and provide feedbacks on recommendations that to be generated. So the next step for that project will be in about a few weeks that a consultant will be having meetings, probably a virtual meeting again, unfortunately, with the different groups. So they're planning on that probably to mid to later in July. So that's kind of the update. Yeah. And we are also have put in a formal request to IDOT for a 6-month extension of the project. That would give us a little bit more leeway, but we hope we won't use up the full 6 months. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. We don't know how long. Mark, are you able to stay for the whole meeting, or we could run through the items that we need votes on?
Oh, I think I can probably, it's probably not going to be over an hour, is it?
Oh, no, I don't think so. All right, what we've done is we're
No,
starting
okay.
with number 6 on the agenda, and we just covered Vision 0. Now we'll move to B, which is regional housing initiatives, and that Lauren Gibson will update us on that.
All right, get a little switcheroo. Yeah, so just a few quick updates on some of the projects that we're working on. So the Shelter Assistance Coalition that we launched in May is still going strong. There's been our providers have seen about a 98% increase in calls between May to June about the housing assistance. So we know that, the word about it is getting out and there's a need there. But unfortunately, there's been a 33% decrease in the amount of assistance provided. We think some of the issue is that people are just having trouble getting all the paperwork together. That's required because a lot of this money comes from federal grant sources that require different paperwork in order to receive funding. But so once all the data from June is in regarding how many people were given assistance and kind of what those numbers look like, we'll go back and kind of revise some of our projections about what we think the need is going to be in the coming months. The statewide moratorium on evictions has also been extended another month. It was supposed to end at the end of June, but now it's going through the end of July. So we think that could also be a factor in people not seeking assistance right away. So we're going to hopefully do kind of a reboot and a re-energize marketing effort, once we get to the point where that eviction moratorium is going to start affecting people. So that's all I've got for that. In terms of the Community Development Block Grant CDBG, the amended Bloomington Consolidated Plan, which included the CDBG CV, which is the coronavirus allocation, that was approved. The normal plan, the amended normal plan is set to be approved at the July 6th council meeting. So thankfully, over about a year and a half of this planning and extensions due to COVID, hopefully we're really close in getting these finalized. We also submitted a nomination for this project for the APA, American Planning Association Illinois Chapter Public Outreach Award. So we should hear about that, I would assume, later in December or early fall. Some other housing work we've got going on. Casey, who's on the call, is helping to compile a list of funding resources for different housing programs like rental, mortgage, rehabilitation, reconstruction, different housing programs for special populations. And this is going to kind of help us and our regional housing partners to help match the resources with some of those gaps in the housing stock that we see here. And we think it's a good asset that we can kind of start building on overall. Then JD, who is also on this call, he's our summer intern, and he's been helping me a lot with housing research. So right now he's working on research on housing trust funds. Just a little bit of background about that is housing trust funds are usually funds set up from some municipal resource to provide competitive funding for different affordable housing projects based on the current gaps in whatever municipality or jurisdiction. So he's going to be doing that and some other housing related research and mapping projects throughout the summer. And that's all I got. Any questions? All right.
Okay, if there aren't any questions, let's move on to C under 6, the complete count committee with Alyssa Cooper.
Yep, thanks, Mary. I'll just give some brief updates of what we've been doing in the last month, anything big that's happened in the last month. We're still in pretty good shape with our census count. There's still work to be done in certain census tracts. But kind of the big update over the past month is that given all the unknowns with the start of the fall semester at colleges and universities, the Census Bureau has asked all colleges and universities across the country to go ahead and submit their off-campus students as part of the group quarters count that they did a month or two ago. So originally it was just supposed to be dorms, but because of all the unknowns and unforeseen circumstances due to COVID, they're just asking everybody to just go ahead and submit all their students, even if they live off campus. So that's a big win for us because that was going to be a challenge for us in the fall, not knowing exactly how housing was going to work. And with students having left early, they'd be in different units now than they were on April 1st, which is Census Day. So it was going to kind of be really chaotic and confusing. So this is a big win for us, I think. ISU has already committed to go ahead and do that. And they either did it recently or they're about to do it in a couple days. So that'll take care of all the ISU students. And our lowest tract right now is the tract that's just ISU. So that'll just take care of that one. And then Wesleyan, I'm sure will do the same, but I'm still waiting on confirmation if they're going to submit off campus too, but I'm sure they will. So that's kind of the big thing for us, but other tracts, there's still some work to be done around downtown Bloomington, but we have several tracts that have exceeded 2010 rates as of now, and Hudson is still number 3 in the state, which is good. But so one thing to note is I think I've sent you all that response map in the past. The dorm counts and the student counts don't go into that. So if you're ever looking at that map, just consider that. I think the Census Bureau is going to work on that, but we have to kind of take that as a caveat when we're looking at that map. Our response rates are actually better than what that map shows. So we just, we've done a lot of orders over the last month. Our partners on our complete count committee have been really helpful disseminating things all around town. We did a really big order to NAACP, community healthcare clinics, several pantries, YWCA, Head Start, Center for Hope Outreach. I did several post offices out on the eastern side of the county in the rural areas that were a little bit lower. We've done yard signs all over. Downtown Bloomington did banners. Uptown Normal's printing banners, and those will go up soon. And then we also did a whole bunch of grocery stores over the last month, including almost all, if not all, of the Mexican grocery stores around town and Mexican restaurants. So, and then we're kind of working right now on getting the elected officials more involved from the Bloomington and Normal City Councils and the county board. And thanks to Diana for reaching out to the Bloomington City Council for us about yard signs. So from now on, we're entering phase 2 of this process. We got a phase 2 grant from IDHS that we'll be working with through the end of October. And our census region is contracting with the same marketing consultants again that we did the first time. So we're going to change up our strategies a little bit, but keep going and really target in on those tracks that are still low and on those populations that are still low. And with that, if anybody has any questions, we do have a lot of yard signs at our office. So if anybody wants any more yard signs, please let us know. But that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, hearing no questions, is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move to the,
I think Ray did.
Oh,
Ray, all right.
yeah, really quick. I'm sorry that which may arise. If I may actually, Lauren has alluded to the two gentlemen on the screen with us. One is the ISU Stevenson fellow, Casey Peterson, and you Wave. Yeah, so other than the housing related assignments, he also spent a lot of time on different things, and one of which is the rural development resource guides and putting a pamphlet together, listing the different resources that will be beneficial for rural communities. So he's kind of finalizing the edits for that document, and then his departure, because the end of the fellowship agreement, he will be finished in 2 weeks with that agreement with ISU. But I just want to, on behalf of the staff, want to thank him for his contributions, and then someday we'll share that final document on the rural development resource guide with you all. But I just want to thank Casey for the last 11 months with us. And
Okay, thank you, Casey.
yeah, secondly is the our summer intern, as pointed out by Lauren earlier, James. And he's actually right now he just finished the first year graduate school with UIUC, Urbana-Champaign, in the planning program there. And he will be starting his second year in grad school in the fall. And previously, he was attending Washington University in St. Louis for his architecture degree. So he just started with us like about 2 weeks ago, and then we'll spend the summer until maybe early August or middle of August with us. But again, I just want you to see his face, so in case you bump into him on the street or something, then you know that's our intern. With that, Mary, in terms of that which may arise, I don't know anything else. You want to go back to number 4, 5?
The consent agenda. Okay, on the consent agenda, let's first start with the minutes. Are there any corrections or additions or comments regarding the minutes? That's the minutes of the June 3rd, 2020 meeting. Okay, how about the financial reports? Any comments? Or the staff reports? Okay, hearing none, could I have a motion to approve the all the items under the consent agenda?
So moved from Carl.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Carl Teichman. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Say aye.
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 Any nays? Hearing no nays, this passes unanimously. So we will move on to the regular agenda. And so that will be the special planning services agreement with Connect Transit. I'm going to call on Ray to explain this.
Okay, thank you very much. This is nothing new. If you were with the commission about 2 years ago, when actually staff did some work with Connect Transit, our public transit agency in the area, and now they're also interested for us to do more work for them, actually for the next 3 years, and that's exciting for us because then public transit is part of the transportation system, and it serves really different sectors of population, different geography, and everything else. So we will be providing planning technical services for the next 3 years. The details are listed with the scope of services listed in the agreement, and therefore the transcript already approved on June 24th. For this agreement, if you approve this this afternoon, then we'll proceed with the work and we'll work with the staff of the transit agency and get things going. Any questions on anything?
Carl Olson has a question.
Okay.
Okay, Carl.
Could you share with me some of our past experience with working with Connect Transit and what data we've been able to provide them with in the past?
Okay, very good question, because I can defer to Jen on that. I know 2018, we were involved in the short-term transit plan, and then Jen has more interactions with them. Since I started, I had interactions with them a lot as much as Jen, so I'll defer to Jen.
Thank you. Very quickly, this 2018 was really the first time we had this type of contract with Connect, and it was specifically to prepare the short-range transit plan, which was a 3 to 5 year document. We're now about 2.5 years in, and we were very pleased with that. And so following, experience for 2019, we were doing more research, finishing off the transit plan, and preparing for the current fiscal, the just ended fiscal year. We did not have an agreement with Connect in our fiscal 2020, but they have agreed to this extension of 3 years. And we've had, since we've been using this process and this contracting situation, we've had very good communication and cooperation with Connect. Tim Riley from our staff and a couple of people who are no longer here spent a lot of time doing analysis of their data, which was helpful, was particularly helpful in doing the short-range transit plan. And that's going to be more of the same in terms of the work we're going to be doing on this process, especially as we start to get census data, because that will be important in looking at expansion or changes of the system, changes in the routes. And we will be continuing that indefinitely at this point, certainly for 3 years. Any questions?
The last question for Carl is, who crafted the scope of work? And I just want to make sure that Planning Commission staff had a strong role in crafting the work and the fee structure.
Yes, we did. Actually, the transit staff, they proposed a first draft, and then our own staff actually work on it, edit it, and then send it back to them before they took it to their board. And so, yeah, we have a lot of input. And as we envisioned, we will involve a number of staff members, in addition to Jen, who involved Lauren in terms of public participation, because experience and just a lot of the skill set, public participation with the regional, the comp plan, the consolidated plan, and the housing issues. And then Tim Riley, who's on our staff, a lot of use that, we'll be utilizing that. And then in terms of data analysis, actually, Elisa Cooper will be helping out. And then, so we all will be working as a team. And some of the things will be a little bit different from the 2018 plan, because I don't think we did have that much public participation at that time. But I think this round, because at that time, it's probably like a 1 year contract. And this one is like a 3 year contract. And so we will be doing things more in a comprehensive way and looking at the data, and in public input from the technical standpoint. We are not a transit agency, so also we will be working closely with them, from the operation standpoint, and making sure it's from a planning perspective, but also technically from a service delivery standpoint that also is workable. And of course, we'll feel free to, even during the course of next 3 years, that if you have any thoughts, any input, I welcome them, because although it says for 3 years, actually we're planning a kickoff. If this contract is approved by you all this afternoon, we'll probably have like a sit down with them next week and to look at the more detail. Some of the work will be started, some will be in a later phase. So that's what we plan on doing.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So thanks for looking out for us.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement with Connect Transit and the McLean County Regional Planning Commission?
So moved, Wiley.
Thank you, Mark. Could I have a second?
Second, Howman.
Comment, okay. Okay, everyone in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Any nays? Hearing none, this passes unanimously. Okay, does anyone have anything else that they would like to bring up? Okay, and I believe that we're ready for a motion for adjournment. Who would like to make that motion?
So moved, Wiley.
Mark Bittner makes the motion to adjourn. Mark, would you like to second?
Sure.
That's a second. Mark, I think second.
Okay, Mark seconds. Everyone in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
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 Thank you, everyone, for getting together for a July meeting. Really appreciate your help.
Have a nice weekend, everybody.